This is a recap of the text I was talking about. Okay, so as we started with UI builder report, that means UI builder means custom UI for input. Okay, we are going to develop our own UI for the user to enter the input parameters. Okay, input parameters. So for this, we need DP class. We've created the DP class. This is our DP. Okay, in the DP, we have a cust table. We are taking this as the table for our main source of data, and then we are going to have we are going to need a temp table. So we are using this from the previous model which we have developed. Okay, this we have it declared here. The contract one, we need contract. Okay, and the process report, this is the method we have overridden. See in the DP class report. Okay, let me come back here. In the DP class, it should extend from this. We did that. It should contain public method return type. Okay, and the process, it should override the process report. That is exactly what we did here. Process report, we overridden the process report, and also it should have a public method which returns the table. It is going to. It should contain a public method. Okay, it is having a public method with return type as the table for the report table. Okay. It is we have a public method with a return type as the table we return. Okay, this is the temp table we are returning. That is what it says. Okay, it should have contain a public method, and it should have an attribute SRS report dataset attribute. That's also we have. That also we have attribute. This is the one that is been described in this. Okay, and this is also. Okay. The report has a contract, then it should have a class level attribute. SRS report parameter attributes contract class. We also have that. We have a class level attribute. This is class level attribute. This attribute is class level attribute, and this is method level attribute. Okay, this attribute is mentioned at the top of the method. That's why this is method level attribute. Excuse me. And now we have a class level attribute for the parameter. Okay, this is what the dimensions. Now going back to this, okay, this we have a DP class and we have description. Now we have contract class. We also have contract. We need it and we did it. Okay, in the if you look at the contract class, what do we need here? Contract. So again, I mentioned few guidelines to follow the contract class. Contract should have an attribute data contract attribute. You should have a class level attribute. Class level attribute data contract attribute. We have it. We have it a class level attribute data contract attribute and with the description. Okay. See the flow. I'm explaining one by one. Uh, all the user input fields. It is all the user input fields. Okay. What are all the user input fields? What does this mean? This means here we want the user to pass. Okay. Here we want the user to pass account number as input. You can see here. Recent normal report. Here we want to pass user to pass this account number. That's why we have one field here, and it should be a pair. One field pair in the sense we need to have a variable for this, as well as a method. Okay, a method. Guys, actually some data has been removed from this. Is it the one we posted yesterday? Let me check. I think some text has been cut from this. Okay, where was that image? Oh, that's it. You should have that a pair of variable and something. Nothing is missing. Okay, all the user input variables should be displayed here. All the user input fields. Okay, it should have they should be mentioned as variables. Okay, and now we've done that. If the report is UA builder report, in our case it is yes. Sys operation contract processing attribute. We should have a report, a class level attribute should be added. Okay, this should be added. Ignore, ignore. So what does that mean? So in the class level, we already have data contract attribute. It should also have a sys operation contract processing attribute. What this does, what this does, we are mentioning this as a contract attribute, contract class. That's why we have this. But now, instead of the default UI provided by the sys operation framework, we want to have our own UI. That is what this attribute means. Understood? If it is not present here, this operation framework is going to provide the UI for us. Okay, we don't want that. We want to have our own UI. That means we don't need this. We want to have our own UI. That's why we are having this. We are attaching that UI builder class here. And next, all the user input should have a pair of variable and palm method. And palm method should have data member attribute. Here, the important thing is pair. What do I mean by that? Each palm method should have a variable, and each palm method should have a data member attribute, the method level attribute. That's what it says and it means. Okay, let us rearrange this. UI builder part comes last because not all contracts will have UI builder. And also this thing I would like to move it before, because we first wrote the process method and then the SSRS report dataset attribute. Just rearrange it them. Okay, user, we have a pair and UI builder report. We added the class level attribute sys operation contract processing add attribute. Okay, now coming to the UI builder class. Now we have built the contract. Now the last part is UI builder. Where is that? This is the user builder. User builder should have this SRS report data contract builder as base class, and it should override build method of the above class. We did that. We did that. So we overrid the build method and we also overrid post build method. We are left here the last time. Okay, now coming to post build. In the build, what did we do? We have provided our own. We are building our own dialog in the UI. In the We have a class, right? We have a class for UI builder. Okay, in our class, we need to have a dialog and then show all these methods here. That's what we are doing. We are we are retrieving the values from the contract and we are creating this dialog and instantiating this dialog, and we are adding UI builder rep and VG group and this dialog group. Okay, the dialog, we are adding a group. This is nothing but in the forms we have seen, we have action pane, and below that we have different tabs, and below that we have different button groups, and below that we have buttons, if you remember. Likewise, in this we are going to have a dialog needs a group, and the group requires all these UI builder report. This is a description and the group to be added. So in order to add a group, we need to create a group. That's what we did. Okay, we just created dialog group and added this group here and then gave a description. What is this description? This is what is expected from the add group. If you put a comma here, name, spec name. Spec name is kind of specification name. It is expecting some text, and we'll see. And then in this group, okay, in this group we have added, and then we are adding a dialog field. What is this dialog field? This is field. Okay, account number palm method, right? We have in this field, we are passing that method as field. Okay, we are adding that method as field. That's what we are doing here. Let's come back. This is it for the build method. We are done with the build method. Now what we are going to do? We are also overriding the post build method. Let's update this. Override post build method. So we are overriding post build method also. Let's continue with the post build method. In the post build method, what we have to do? The building, we have declared a dialog and created a group. And here we are going to have few things here. This super we can remove. Why we can remove? If you go to definition, it doesn't contain anything. It is blank. Okay, it is blank. So we can safely remove the post super. What's happening? Delete. This dialog group, we have created dialog and dialog group. Now in the post build, we are going to create a dialog field. As I've said, in the forms, if we want to add a button, we need to follow a hierarchy. Action pane, tab, group, and button. Right? Here also, in order to create a dialog, we have to follow a hierarchy. Dialog group, dialog group, and dialog field. So, dialog field, let's give as DG field Just declared it. Now we are binding this dialog field to, we have already done that. Account number contract, we have bind the contract only. Okay. Method string and okay. Dialog field, we declared it, and DG field is equal to this dot. This means this whole class, right? This whole class. And SSRS report is, this contract builder is the base class, and we will have all the base methods here. So one of that method is bind info. We need it. Bind info dot get dialog field. Binding is done here. Dialog field, we have binded the contract to this, and this is before building. After building, this method get executed. During this phase, we are retrieving the binding info and then binding this dialog field. Get dialog field, we are retrieving the dialog field, this dot data contract object. What is data contract object? It is nothing but the contract. We have used this ANJ palm contract. If it gets more confusing, you just use this. Okay. The same thing I'm writing to avoid confusion. I can use this, the same thing. Okay, this is not data contract object. Instead of this whole thing, we can use, okay, what we are doing here, we are calling this method and passing it. Instead of directly passing it, for understanding purposes, we have created this field here and we assigned this variable with this. Now, instead of this, we can simply pass this. Con. And inside this object, what method we need to give? Method string. Method string. The same thing. This is something you have to remember by heart. For binding, this is the way you have to do. And for this, instead of passing this as contract, we have to pass the whole dialog object, which is this. That's it. Is it accepting? Is it accepting this binding info dot get dialog field contract? Does it have any other parameter? Does it? No, it has only two. So this is enough. For dialog field, we need the class object and the method we want to have. And then what we have to do is we have to, dialog field is a class. What is class? This dialog field. In this dialog field, we need to, you can go over here. We need to override register override method. Why I need to do this? Why I need to do this? Because I want to have a lookup on this. So I want to have a lookup on this dialog field. Okay, here user has to enter this manually, isn't it? Instead of entering this manually, we are going to provide a lookup. This is a dialog field. So this dialog field has a override method. Let us see what that is. Here, Register override method registers the runtime override method and object for the given method name. Okay, it's hard to understand, but once you reach this level, this is how you come here and then try to understand. You can also debug this. Okay, I don't want to overcomplicate things. That I'm just explaining that. Okay, what I want to override lookup, right? String form control string has a override method. Okay, I'll do it. Just see dg field dot register override method. We have to override a method of string control. Method control string of what? Method string of what? Form string control. What method? Form string control have several methods. We want to override lookup. With what? We want to display all the customer account numbers. Okay. So what? With a method we need to do that. So for what? Let's have a method over here. Public void, this returns void cust details form control string, form control only, not control. This accepts a form control. String control form string control. You will understand. Try to understand. You will understand. I'll try to explain. Try to explain my best. This does nothing. Okay. For now, this does nothing. What we have to do here is we have to provide data for the lookup. Okay. What do I mean? This field has to show some data. We need to provide that data. What all the values are available, we will show to the user, and he will select out of those values we have provided. Okay. I'll implement this. How to retrieve all the customer account numbers, I will write here. But for now, we need this method. That's why what I'm doing is register override method and registering lookup method with this method string. Method of what? We need to override form string control lookup with this method. This method is in this. So method string control of this class. Rep UI comma cust account detail. Not here. Yeah, rep string control method string of this comma the method name. Let's do this. That's it. What I essentially did, let me explain. Here, this is the UI builder and this is the dialog group. Okay, dialog group contains one dialog field and dialog field contains the string. Again, I'm trying to explain the same scenario. In order to have a dialog field here, this is dialog field. Okay, like we add in the forms example, you see we have added, in order to add a button, we have created action pane, and inside that pane we have created a button group, and inside that group we created a button, right? The same way here, what I'm doing is, this is our UI. I'm going to create a dialog field, and the dialog field requires dialog group, and dialog group contains a dialog field that holds the string value. That string is nothing but form control string. This is the form control string. This dialog field represents form control string. Form control string by default has a lookup method, and it does nothing here. We want to add a lookup. So we are overriding that lookup with our custom method. That is what is clearly saying here. Dialog field contains form string control, right? In the form string control. Okay, form string controls lookup method. We are overriding with this lookup method with our method. Our method is present in the same class, right? We have to mention that here. Same class name and with this method name. That's what we are doing here. Might have missed this. Okay, that is what I did. Now we have overridden the lookup method with this. Now all that is left is, here we need to provide the logic for lookup. How to write a lookup? This table lookup is a class available for that. This table lookup, this provides a lookup. Lookup is equal to, we have a static method in this. We are creating our own lookup like this. Scope resolution operator is, because it is a static. Now it accepts, it has this method and it accepts on which table you want to have the data from, retrieve the data from, and which column you want to have a lookup field. Okay, so this accept the table name, table num. It accepts only table num. You see, table id is number, that's why we are using table num. If it accepts table string, then we will use table str. If it accepts a class, we will use class str. Okay, as soon as you open the brace, it is going to give this table num. We want the data from cust table, isn't it? Because account number is in cust table only. Then we want to add this lookup, this to the form string control. Just give this. Okay, we just mentioned that we want data from this table. And now what we have to do is, we have to add the custom num, table table column. Now lookup dot add lookup field. Now lookup field, what it is expecting? Field id field. So it is asking for id, so we are going to use field num of cast table. What field we want? Account num only. Return item, yeah, we want to return it item. True. For now I'll write this. Okay, and we are going to come back here and add one more thing here. This line I left it for it. Okay, lookup dot perform lookup, perform form lookup. With this, our UI builder class is ready. I'm not going to write this there because this is not present in all the UI builder classes. In fact, it can have many methods. So I'm not going to write it in the update it here UI builder class, or I will validate it and then I'll add if it is needed. Okay, and this is it. So let's go back there. UI builder report. We have DP class done, contract class done, UI builder class done. Then we don't need anything. We need all we need to do is we need to attach this to a menu item. That's it. So right now what I'll do is I will add a new menu item here because in the here I have been using this normal report. Normal report is misleading. So I will add a UI builder report menu item, output display menu item, and then we'll attach it there. Okay, and new item UI. Go to user interface and display menu item. Just add it. Oh, new item num is enough. Okay, go to the properties, and I'll change the label here. UI builder report. And what I want to show here, I want to show a report. We just added menu. We just created this thing, but where is our report? We need to create a report, right? Add new item, report, reports, report, ANJ, UI builder wrap. Let's go one for safer side. Add, and the rest of the steps you know. Properties, and then what is the data source type? Report data provider. And the query is our ANJ UI builder wrap underscore DP. With this, we are going to have the fields available in the custom table. I'm selecting all. Okay, done. We are done here, and name I'll change it. Okay, UA builder wrap data source. Okay, with this we have got all the fields and everything, and now we are ready to create the design. New precision design. This precision design I'm going to edit it using this is the design. We are okay, and before that let me change this name. Properties, precision design one is UI builder design. Now I'm going to edit it. Slowing performance. What is this? Ignore. Disabled manager. Don't report this. Don't show this again. Okay. Warnings are gone. Now let's open this. From here, you all know. Okay, let's check whether it has the our account number properties added. Yeah, account number is added. So also, okay, let me. Okay, let me insert a table. Insert a table. You can simply drag and drop the fields here. Company name, dataset one dot company name. We don't have any other fields in the guest table, is it? Okay, for now we are going to show only this. Our idea is to pass the data here, and it should be displayed here. Delete column. After this, what we need to do? I'm not inserting table header and footer. It's a waste of time. You already know how to do it. Just have to insert page header and footer. Okay, what we need to do? We have to deploy the report, isn't it? And also display menu item. What is the display menu item one? Okay, we have to deploy the report. What you do for that, just right click on the project and then start deploy reports. I think menu item might throw an error. Let us see. We haven't assigned any object there in the menu item. If it shows any error, then we'll add it to the menu item and then build it again. Started deploying, deployment report completed, build is also completed. Now we have two more things to do here. Okay, and then the display menu item, go to the properties and assign that report. Okay, display menu item, go to the properties here, and then here we need to select the object type is SRS report. Okay, and the object for this is Angel Viewer Builder Rep, and it has selected report design. This is also important. In our report, we have only one design. That's why it picked that design and then showing. In some cases, it might have multiple designs. Okay, multiple designs. And if you want to have the other design, you can do it. What do I mean by multiple design? In this one report, I have one design, right? Let me open that report. One design. For one menu item, I assigned UI builder design. In another menu item, I can create precision design and then have my own different sort of table with different format. Okay. Another menu item, I can attach the other design. We will see this multiple designs tomorrow in the controller reports, and we will be doing like that. Okay, and for now I have created this menu item. And where do we attach this menu item? We will attach it here exactly, where in the modules and accounts payable. Okay, in the accounts payable section we are going to have it. It's going to reload again. We won't wait for that anyways. We are nearing the end of this. Okay, accounts payable menu, I will extend it. Accounts payable menu item, I'm going to create an extension to add this menu item. So account payable, okay, create extension. In this extension, I'll open it. In the vendors. I'm going to drop our new display menu item. Display menu item. It seems ugly, but for now, it's okay. What do I mean by ugly? Display menu item. The name I have to change, but for now, I'm not changing that. It doesn't make uh, much difference. But the label we have changed. So the label is displayed there because in the display menu item we updated the label. Label is always shown there in the UI. I built it. Still output. Shift B. Build again. It's still reloading. If we don't have any errors, this will, if we don't have any errors, this will be successfully showing as a lookup. Okay, go here, accounts payable. You see UI builder report. Okay, and we are opening that. We have added two account numbers. Okay, we might have done some mistake here, but for this, for now, ignore this. Okay, ignore it. But here the interesting thing happens. You here execute form run object does not have method cast account details. Why? What? Form run object. Why do I give form run here? Go to the UI builder rep one. No, not this. The problem is with the class UI, right? What did we do wrong here? From the error, I am saying this cast account details. Form string control lookup. Post build. Yeah, yeah, I got it. What the error is. Comma. Overrideable object 1, 2, 3. It's accepting 3 parameters, but this is what we missed, I believe. And one more thing we have, it is showing two account numbers. Your builder group, this is done, and dialog we've done. Okay, post build, what did we do? Post build, the dialog field we have add only one. Lookup. Okay, this we don't have any issue here. This also, I don't see any issue here as well. Why is it showing in the contract class? Which could be the culprit. What number? We have only one thing here. Anyways, let's give it a build and try it one more time. This time that error should be gone and should be all right. So again, I'm going to provide in notes. If I forget, remind me, guys. I'll create the project which I have created earlier, and the notes I prepared earlier. So with that notes and this video, you should be able to do it by yourself without any issues. Okay, recent, go and run this. You should be knowing that this is fine. Now I'm changing it to USMF. Now, if I click here, just observe the magic. See, all the available account numbers are shown here. This is what our objective is for the UI builder. With this, user need not check somewhere for what to enter, okay, and do it. Now he can directly select it. And now, let's say with this user account number is not giving much information. What this does and all, these are all just numbers. In this lookup itself, if you want to show any other column that makes more sense for him to take select, we can do that. We can do whatever we want. What I mean by that, see here, go to the UI builder. Yeah, I left a field here, right? I left a this here, right? Along with the custom number, okay, custom account number, I will show any other field. I will show any other field. What do I mean by that? Dot add lookup field, again another field, field num, cust table, cust group. I'm giving this field, okay, cust, and remember this true is important. I'll explain it now in a few moments. Building is successful, I think, or not, but it should be successful. I'm still doing it. Yeah. Now see the magic here. We are about to close it with this. If everything is fine, then I guessed it would take much time, but it didn't actually, thankfully. So instead of going there, I'll just go to recent UI builder report. Okay. Now see the magic. See customer group also we could see, but this additional column is for the user to help him choose. But when you select anything, only this one is added here. That is because in the lookup we mentioned this as true. See the difference here. Both we are adding lookup fields, but this parameter determines which value should be updated there. Okay. and this US002 is selected and then triggering a report. If there is no error in the report, this should display the data. If there is any error in the DP or report design or something, the data would not be visible. So we selected US002 and we have retrieved the column. And here we are seeing these blank values because we haven't provided the labels for that in the report. And that is a simple thing. I think you know it. Here in the header, we are not given any labels. Just give this account number and header as company name. With this, you can get the headers and all. In our table, in the cust table we chose, we have only two fields. That's why we're only seeing two tables in the report data here. The company name and this is the parameter we have. Oh no, oh, no. Is it so? Oh, we have all other fields as well. We can add these as well if you want. Insert column, right. Insert column, right. Just give it a try. It'll be nicer if we have more columns. All the hard work we've done. At least insert column right. Insert column right. Okay. Aligning this in a separate way, and here just do it here in the bank account. We already chosen company name I've chosen, and credit rating of that person, and maximum, the customer group name, account number we have chosen, and bank account, both are same I think, but let's add one more, right. Account name we have chosen, right. Account number. With this you can have as many fields of dataset as you want, and as soon as you add it, just deploy the reports. Deploy the reports. This would deploy it. Completed just now. 1642 442. Okay, and the build is also complete. Just go to the UI and refresh it, and you should see with the new data. The recent okay, UI builder report. See, user, this is the previously selected, and now I'm selecting US005, and I click OK, and it has given US005's data. That is about the UI builder report, and this is showing up. I think we did something wrong, but when you follow the steps in the notes I'll be providing, you will be getting the exact data, because that is how I did it. That was a working thing. I hope you understand it, and this has come out beautifully. Did the DP report. Just go through the previous video to understand if you want. I explained this anyways in the today's session also. Just go through the previous video along with today's video to have a complete re-understanding of this. Okay.